For Sharon Brooks, a career in broadcasting has brought her many titles: student, on-air talent, manager, news director, pioneer, educator, and mentor, just to name a few. At the heart of it was a sincere desire to serve the industry. Sharon sought to make broadcasting better. By doing so, she forever changed broadcasting in Nebraska. Born in 1952 in Sioux Falls, it was while living in Fremont when in the 8th grade, Sharon began her broadcasting career reading school updates on KHUB radio. Sharon arrived at Hastings College in 1970 to study English, an appropriate route at the time for someone interested in a journalism career. Sharon found broadcasting experience difficult to get. Radio and television executives only sought dominant male voices to be the next Walter Cronkite. Few saw the need for female voices. Her senior year at Hastings College included a class with Dale Black, producing a rendition of Eeyore and Winnie the Pooh on KHAS TV. Sharon served as narrator and made a good impression. Seeing her potential, management hired her in the news department for a position then known as Weather Girl. She soon was promoted to reporter.
She asked all of those journalist questions of who, what, when, how, and then she got to the why question. She would lull you into an interesting sense of things, and then she'd ask that tough question. She's very good at it.
In 1976, Sharon went from reporting the news to making headlines herself. At a time when men dominated newsrooms, Sharon was named news director at KHAS TV. She was the first female in Nebraska to attain the title.
When Sharon was made the news director at KHAS, that was really a barrier-breaking thing. And she did it because she was qualified.
I think it's absolutely awesome that Sharon was the first female news director at a TV station in Nebraska. And you know, as I have gone through my career as a female news director here in Kansas, it's just really neat. She was a trailblazer.
Of course, being news director came with the responsibility of learning new equipment for internet research and how-to videos on YouTube.
The VCRs, the Sony VCRs, you know, the boxes came in the front door and we pulled them out, and within a half hour we were going with them and trying to figure out how they worked. You know, we were desperate.
Although working at KHAS was rewarding, Sharon's love of learning drew her back to school, earning a master's degree from both the University of Leicester in England and the University of Nebraska at Lincoln. By 1979, Sharon was engaged to radio broadcaster John Brooks. Her reputation and prominence in the Hastings community made her the first choice as Hastings College expanded its English department. As a faculty member, it was Sharon's broadcasting experience that made her uniquely suited for an extraordinary professional challenge. Bob Gray, a Hastings native and communication strategist for the Reagan presidential campaign, had offered to fund the Gray Center for the Communication Arts. The building would serve as a world-class facility for media and communications education.
Architects were hired to design the building, and it was quickly discovered that the architects knew nothing about either radio or TV production, and Sharon did. She, in effect, became an architect for this building.
Architect was just one of Sharon's roles. She utilized technical and engineering skills to outline runs for cabling. She called upon her journalism skill to identify rooms, staff, and computers necessary to launch a quality broadcast journalism program. Sharon also had the role of soliciting input from national media heavyweights.
There was an advisory committee that Bob Gray put together of some very prominent people. One name that stands out, of course, would be Walter Cronkite from CBS News. And her job was to explore discussions, have discussions with the people on the advisory committee in terms of how they dreamed or envisioned a small liberal arts college participating in the communication needs and challenges going forward.
Sharon's work leading the design and construction of the Gray Center culminated with a very special dedication on September 6, 1988, leading to one of the most famous radio sign-ons in Nebraska history.
It's my pleasure to be the first person to say, radio station KFKX is on the air.
As general manager of KFKX for nearly 3 decades, she helped to hone the skills of countless on-air talent, news reporters, traffic and ad sales, professionals, engineers, programmers, production staff, managers, and producers. Inside the Gray Center, always armed with a lanyard of keys and a passion for broadcasting, Sharon educated and inspired students.
She was always searching, always improving, and the reason she was doing that was to provide a more enhanced learning education for her students. She wasn't doing it to be self-aggrandizing. She was doing to provide the best educational opportunity for the people that she worked with and the students she had in her class.
And we on the teaching side are trying to be on the cutting edge. So we're continually modifying courses, curriculum, even physical layouts. We're changing everything continually. And Sharon, to those discussions, one of the things, she saw things on multiple levels. She could see strategies and philosophies, and everything always came down to student learning.
And she was always pushing the academics. She wanted you to do the best you could, but a little more. She laid the basics and then she said, now go do it. Get out there and get your feet wet and see what you can find.
Well, Sharon really taught me to love local news. It's one of the biggest reasons why I went into journalism. You know, I remember sitting in her class in college and she would get so excited about something like the city council meeting and just really showing her passion for serving the local community.
Through a groundbreaking career in broadcasting and 37 years as an educator, Sharon's legacy is perhaps best defined by her inherent kindness.
Sharon is one of the most generous spirits ever to live on the planet. She does not know anything other than to serve.
If you can find a more caring individual about other human beings, I'd like to see it.
She treated people with so much respect and understanding, and really always treated people with what she could do for them, not what they might be able to do for her. And that attitude is what makes her so special.
Congratulations to Sharon Bell Brooks on her induction into the Nebraska Broadcasters Association Hall of Fame, Class of 2021.